it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am barefaced because I'm going to be testing out this new Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate foundation. This just launched very recently and I feel like there's so many new foundation launches lately, I can't keep up with them. I have 5 new ones to test. So yesterday on my community page, I had asked you guys which one you wanted to see me review first. This one definitely won by quite a bit. I think it was over 50% had voted for this one right here. And one of the reasons I am so excited to try this for the first time today is because I did not get along with their Conceal and Define foundation. I still have this. I don't know why. I was planning to just throw it out because it doesn't get along with my skin at all. For those of you who are new to my channel, I have more mature skin. I'm over 40. I also have really dry skin. So this one for me, it just was really cakey, really heavy on the skin. It looked like a mask. It settled into every pore and fine line. So this one was a total fail for me, but I was so excited to see them come out with a hydrating version. So just quickly, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this and then we'll jump right into the application. So first, let's just talk about packaging, and I want to show you guys these together because you can see that the newer one is quite a bit taller than the other one, and they actually have the same amount of product, or roughly the same amount. This one has 0.8 ounces, this one has 0.7, but the reason that this one looks taller is because it actually has a pump on it, and I was so excited for that. This one has that giant doe foot, and me being kind of, you know, a bit of a germaphobe, I don't like this application just because I feel like, you know, you're touching it, either putting it on your hand or your face and then dipping it back in and kind of contaminating the whole jar. So I personally love that this one has a pump. I think that's awesome. Also, just looking at the packaging, this one says full coverage foundation, while the new one says medium to full coverage. So I like that a lot better. I'm not really a full coverage person. I do have some discoloration on my cheeks, like sunspots, and also some redness, but it's not so much that I feel like I need a completely full coverage foundation. And also, just as I get older, full coverage foundations just do not work for me anymore. So I like that this is medium to full. Hopefully it's a little bit more towards the medium side, and I do plan to apply it with a sponge so I can sheer it out just a little bit. I'll just quickly read you the claims of this on the Ulta website. And by the way, this comes in 16 different shades. The original came in 50. So I guess they're assuming that, you know, not everybody has dry skin, not everybody's gonna want the hydrating one, so they cut down the shades a little bit. It's $12, exactly like the original one is. But anyway, it says Makeup Revolution's Conceal and Hydrate foundation has been specifically formulated to suit every skin type and tone, but is particularly beneficial for dry skin. With hyaluronic acid, it offers all day long radiance and glow without settling into fine lines or clinging to dry patches. We're definitely gonna test that out today. Housed in a luxe glass bottle with a new pump applicator for added control, this foundation offers medium to full coverage. So I already have tried a little bit of this on the back of my hand and tried it out before the video because I wanted to get a feel for the formula, and it definitely is similar to the original in that a little bit goes a really long way. And the reason that I did that is just because I wanted to get a little feel for the formula first, because I don't want to put too much on my face and then risk the result looking cakey or something that, you know, I'm not happy with, and then I blame the foundation when in reality I just applied too much. So now that I know that a little bit goes a long way, I'm gonna start really light and then kind of build it up if I need to. So let's just go ahead. I'll start with a 1 pump, and this is in the shade F3. I also have F3 in the original, and they seem to be identical. I swatched them side by side. They look pretty much exactly the same. So I'm gonna just go ahead and dot a little bit, just 1 dot on each cheek. I feel like my cheeks need the most coverage, so I'm gonna put the most coverage there, and then I'm just gonna put like tiny little dots on the rest of my face. All right, so we'll start with that and see where it goes. All right, so let's go ahead and blend this out. So far, I mean, just that 1 dot covered quite a bit. I also forgot to mention that I did apply my SPF before this. I used the Coats Tinted Primer. So that one does have kind of like a silicone primer type consistency. So just something to keep in mind that I do have that on, which could change the result a little bit, but I wanted to apply it because that's what I wear every single day, and I wanted to see how this wore on top of that because SPF is so super important, especially now that I'm getting older and I'm trying to treat these dark spots that I have and trying to fade them. So using a sunscreen is super important because then I'll keep those dark spots from reappearing or getting worse again. All right, so just that light layer added pretty good coverage. I would say right there we're already at what a lot of medium coverage foundations would give, and I hardly applied anything, so that is pretty good. But I think I need a little bit more coverage just in my cheek area right here, so I'm gonna go and just put a little bit more on, just maybe 1 more dot on each cheek. All right, so now that I've blended this in, that second layer added a little bit more coverage. So I think we're pretty good. I don't want to add too much and go crazy with this because, like I said, I think it's going to get a little bit too cakey. So far, it feels really nice. And I really like to make sure that I pounce this into the skin with, this is the L'Oreal Beauty Sponge, because I just want it to kind of become one with my skin and not sit on top. And I find that just blending and blending and blending gives me the best results. All right, so I think we're good. I'm not gonna set this with anything. I typically don't because I have dry skin. Makeup usually lasts fine without having to set it. And I don't think I'm gonna apply concealer either because I think this covered pretty well under my eyes. I mean, there's like a tiny little bit of darkness there, but I don't want the concealer to throw off what the foundation looks like. So I'm just gonna leave it alone and just do the foundation and that's it. And then we can get a good idea of what it looks like. I also wanna put up quickly a before and after picture so that you can see what this looks like in natural lighting because I know it's so hard to tell exactly what it looks like under all of my makeup lights. And as you can see, again, in the before picture, I have a lot of discoloration going on. And in the after picture, you can see that this definitely covered pretty well. I can still slightly see my dark spots through the foundation, but that's not a big deal to me. I'm not looking to completely cover up everything. I still want my skin to look like skin. And I think that being able to see your dark spots and freckles just slightly through the foundation helps your skin to just look more real and more natural. If you look like you're just wearing a mask, then everybody can tell that you're wearing foundation, and I like that more no makeup look. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my makeup and then I will see you back here in a few. Alright guys, so makeup's done. I just want to quickly show you what other products I'm wearing. I'm starting with the eyes. I'm wearing the California Love palette from ColourPop. I love this palette so much lately. It's like the perfect warm neutral palette. So I used the shade Laguna on my crease and then Gold Rush in the outer corner and then Diego, which is this really shimmery gold on the lid. I love this palette. Like I said, I've just been using it so much. I think it's perfect for heading into fall. And then on my lashes, I'm wearing kind of a throwback mascara. This is the Maybelline Lash Stiletto. I saw this at Target the other day. I was just kind of perusing their mascara section to see what I hadn't tried in a while, and I remember really loving this like several years ago. I haven't tried it since, so I actually really do like this again. I love the brush, first of all. Like, look at how skinny that brush is. It really helps me to get up close to the roots of my lashes. It gave me a lot of length, not as much volume, but this one I don't think claims to give a lot of volume. It's more for that kind of fluttery long lashes look, which I really love. So far happy with this, but I'll have to see how this wears throughout the day with the foundation. Blush, I'm wearing the Lorac Color Source blush in the shade Tinge. This is my go-to nude blush. If I'm wearing any kind of color on my eyes, or especially like this look, how it's a little bit more orangey, and I don't want to wear a pink blush, this nude is just perfect. It goes with absolutely anything, but I usually reach for it when I'm not quite sure what blush shade to wear. It is a really pale color, so I think it works best on fair to light skin tones, but as you can see, it does show up. It actually darkens a little bit too when you put it on the skin, so it looks, I feel like, a little bit darker on my cheeks than in the pan, but I love this blush so much and I love the formula too. And then on my lips, I'm wearing the ColourPop Just the Tint lip crayon in the shade Gimme S'more. And I did a video, a whole lip swatch video actually a couple weeks ago. And when I was talking about these, I said that I hated the scent of them. I still don't love it, but I've gotten a little bit more used to it. And I just love how easy these are because you just kind of swipe them on and go. And I love this color too because it's more of like a nude shade again, so it goes with everything. And they're also really creamy and feel moisturizing and hydrating on the lips. So as far as the foundation goes, I feel like it's looking really good now that it's kind of set in a little bit. I mean, I don't have any complaints. It doesn't have a flat matte finish. It also doesn't look shimmery, which is good because actually on the bottle it said Radiance Foundation. So I was a little bit worried it might have some type of like shimmer particles in there, but it doesn't seem to, at least here in indoor lighting. But definitely gonna have to go outside and check that out and make sure, because usually those accentuate any kind of texture that's on my face or fine lines. But so far I really like it. I think it's definitely more of like a satiny finish foundation where I can see the light bouncing off my face, like kind of off the tip of my nose, my forehead. So it's not like a flat finish, like I said, but it just adds a little bit of dimension to the skin. I think it's really nice so far. So fingers crossed that it looks good outside, because that's always my true test. These magic lights, as I call them, kind of make everything look better. So we're gonna go outside, I'm gonna take some photos, and then I'm also gonna check in at the end of the day to see how it wore. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Hey guys, it's been about 4 hours since I applied the foundation. I just want to do a quick check-in outside so that you could see what this looks like in natural lighting. And so far, I think it still looks okay for the most part, but there's definitely some trouble spots. So I want to show you a close-up of my chin because it seems to be clinging to my chin quite a bit and it almost looks like it's starting to break up a little bit, which I wasn't too happy with. And then when it comes to the middle of my face, I think it looks fine. My cheek area looks okay. It looks very skin-like as far as the finish goes. I don't see it settling really into the pores. My pores look pretty much the same as they do when I'm not wearing foundation. And then on my forehead though, again, I can see these fine lines, and usually when I can see them, it's because my skin is more dried out. Usually if I'm wearing a more hydrating foundation, it kind of plumps those up a little bit more. And the fact that I could see them is a little bit troubling because this is supposed to have hyaluronic acid in it. It's supposed to kind of help to plump up the skin, and it really doesn't seem to be doing that. So that's kind of a minus for me as well. And just overall, I feel like my skin has kind of more of this like radiant glow to it. It definitely doesn't have shimmer or glitter in it, which is a good thing, but I find that foundations that just have more of a glow like this tend to highlight things that I don't want it to highlight, like those forehead lines, for example. So I don't know quite how I feel about it. I don't feel like this foundation looks as good as it did in the house, but I'm still going to do another check-in at the end of the night and we'll see where we're at. We'll see if it's still holding up. Hey guys, it's 6:15. I'm back for my final check-in. So just quickly, because I have dinner going downstairs, I'm not super impressed with this foundation. I'm kind of disappointed actually because I felt like it's clinging to areas I don't want it to cling to. It's sinking into fine lines. Those are basically things that the claim said it wasn't going to do, and it's basically doing the opposite. I felt like my skin looked drier and drier as the day went on, but as you saw with my 4-hour check-in, it just started to break apart already, especially on my chin. I see some redness peeking through here. I see some redness peeking through on my nose, which to be fair, a lot of foundations do that unless they're like a super long wearing, more full coverage formula. And I didn't apply a ton of this because I did want some of those things to peek through. So again, I don't know if this foundation is just right for me. I wouldn't say it's a bad formula necessarily. I think it probably would work for a lot of people, especially maybe if you're younger. But you know, being over 40, having more mature skin, having those fine lines and wrinkles and visible pores just means that a lot of foundations don't work for me these days. So I feel like I'm more disappointed than not usually. And again, that's not necessarily foundation's fault because I do think a lot of people might get on with this just fine. But just for me personally, I didn't like the way that this wore throughout the day. I do think it's a lot better than the original. This one was terrible from the get-go, at least on my skin. I really did not like it at all. This one, at least I liked it for a little bit. And maybe if I had a different skin type, the results would be completely different. So anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts on this one. If you've tried it yet, down in the comments. I'd love to hear whether this worked for you or it didn't, and also let us know your skin type as well and maybe like your age group, just so we can get a better idea of who this is working for and who it's not. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well so that you don't miss out on any future videos and they'll pop up in your subscription feed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!